What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventure 1994 here, and today is Friday, March 22nd, 2024, and I want to talk about my Disney trip in March of 2013, 11 years ago today. It was that one time where we drove to Disney in March, and we took my Nana with during spring break of 2013, back when I was in 6th grade. And this was 5 months after Hurricane Sandy hit us. And the reason why I want to do this on the 11th anniversary is because we left on Friday, March 2nd of 2013, and it's once again Friday, March 22nd. So we left for Disney on Friday, March 22nd, and it's now Friday, March 22nd again, here in 2024. So it kind of makes sense to make the video today and this year. So yeah, I only went to school 4 days that week, from the 18th to the 22nd. And I remember we were packing throughout the week, and I was doing 4 days of school from the 18th to the 21st in 6th grade. And we were towards the end of the third quarter of the year. And by the time it was Friday, March 22nd, we got up at like 3 in the morning, and we were getting ready for Disney, and we started driving to Disney at like 3:30. And we didn't take our own cars. We actually ran out a 2013 Dodge Grand Caravan out of JFK Airport. And it was white, just like our 1997 Dodge Grand Caravan, which is a car you used to see in the old videos, but not anymore. So yeah, we rented out a 2013 Dodge Grand Caravan for all of us to fit the whole family in during the road trip. And it had a overhead DVD player, and the driver and the passenger changes the DVDs, and the movie comes on the screen. Yeah, we have a built-in overhead DVD player in that car. It was awesome. It was really great, and we brought a full album of Disney movies with us, and we were watching Disney movies on the way going and on the way coming back. Yeah, that minivan was really impressive. So yeah, we left at 3:30 in the morning. It was still night out, and we actually had snowfall the night before, but it wasn't that serious. We were still good. We were still good to go for Disney. It was like low snow on the ground. It was like only 1 inch that night. And we're driving, and we arrive at New Jersey at about like 5 in the morning, and about 5:30 we actually make a rest stop for an hour, and just to use the bathroom and have breakfast that morning. It was one of those rest stops on I-95 in New Jersey. Yeah, we made a rest stop at like 5:30 in the morning on one of the rest stops in New Jersey on I-95, which is the interstate that we drove all the way down to Florida. So we went to the bathroom and we had breakfast, and then we got back in the car and the sun started coming out at like 6:30. And yeah, I started to see sunlight by like 6:15 while we were eating breakfast. And we were back on the road at like 6:30, and we watched Disney's Enchanted first. And then we watched Up. We watched all these other stuff. And we got past New Jersey, we got past a little bit of Pennsylvania, we passed Delaware a little bit, and we got into Maryland about like 11 o'clock. And we passed by Baltimore and Washington, D.C. during our drive. At about like 11:30ish, we made another rest stop. We ate lunch at a Cracker Barrel in Virginia. And this was actually the first ever Cracker Barrel I went into, which was in Virginia during our road trip to Disney. That was my first ever Cracker Barrel That was the first ever time I went to a Cracker Barrel in my lifetime. So yeah, we went there and we were back on the road again by like 12:30. Like we ate first and then we walked around the place and then we got back on the road again. And then we were in Virginia and then we got to North Carolina by the time the evening was getting near. And we had dinner. And then we got to the south of the border. I forgot where we had dinner at. It was like a long time ago, but I still remember the Cracker Barrel for lunch. And then we made a stop at south of the border, and we took a look around the place by the time we got to South Carolina. Yeah, we decided to get a glimpse of what was in the south of the border, and it was like really festive back then. Yeah, I don't know if it exists anymore. I forgot if they took it down or not, but it did look really festive. It was like Mexico design. Yeah, the south of the border looked nice. It was like a sign to show you that you were in South Carolina. It looked really nice, so we chose that place as a rest stop that night. And then we kept driving until 10 o'clock at night, and then we finally got into Georgia. And then we checked into a Holiday Inn in Savannah, Georgia. And I actually had trouble sleeping that night. I actually got woken up by a train horn at like 5:30 in the morning because we didn't realize that we checked into a hotel which was right near a railroad crossing, right next to the train tracks. And boy, that train was loud. It was like really loud that I had trouble sleeping at 5:30 in the morning. I was like up until it was time to get ready. And then we went back downstairs at like 6:30 in the morning and we had breakfast, and then we left at 7 a.m. And we drove all the way down to in Georgia, and then we arrived in Florida at like 9:30 in the morning. And we made a rest stop at the Florida Welcome Center. And then we were on the road for 3.5 more hours because we were actually making stops on the way. Like we had like lunch at McDonald's and all that other stuff. And then we actually didn't arrive in Disney until like 12:30 in the afternoon because we had to like use the bathroom and all that stuff and make stops on the way. We probably would have got there like 11ish, like 11:30ish. I don't know. I actually remember us passing by Jacksonville on the way. It looked really nice. The last movie we watched in the car on the way to Disney was WALL-E. That's what I remember. And then we just wrapped up the DVD player and we arrived in Disney. Now for this trip we were staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge for the next 7 days. So we checked into our room in the Kidani village of Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then and I'm talking about, this was Saturday, March 23rd. This was actually Shay's birthday when we arrived in Disney in 2013. So we left on the 22nd and we arrived on the 23rd. So yeah, we arrived in Disney on the 23rd and we checked into our room, and then we went to Magic Kingdom the first day. And we stayed late till the fireworks, and we stayed there for a few hours to go on the rides and everything. Then we watched the fireworks, and then we head back to the resort. And then Sunday comes around and we go to Epcot, the 24th. And we got a chance to ride the new test track because they were done redoing it. I remember they were closed back in 2012 because they were like remaking the whole ride into a more modern ride. And they didn't finish until December that year, back in 2012, and we rode when we went in March of 2013. We also got a chance to ride on the aerial ride in Magic Kingdom. That was also completed for New Fantasyland back in 2012, and we rode it back in 2013. Yeah, so there were 2 new rides coming. Well, Test Track is old, but they finished redoing it that year. And then Monday rolls around and we go to Animal Kingdom, and then we go to Disney Springs that night. And back then, this is when it was called Downtown Disney. We only stayed there for like 2 hours in Downtown Disney. We only did like the main area where they had the Lego store, the World of Disney, the candy shop, the Christmas store, all that other stuff. Yeah, we only did like the main half of it. And we only stayed for like 2 hours. We like got there like 6 in the evening, and we left at like 8 p.m. when the sun started setting. Like, we didn't really feel like walking the rest of it, so we just went back to the resort. And then Tuesday we went to Hollywood Studios, and then Wednesday we went to Magic Kingdom again. And then on the last day we went to Epcot again, which was that Thursday. And my brother got a picture with Aurora, which was something we used to do before we left Disney. And then it was Good Friday. We went home from Disney on Good Friday, March 29th. And we came home for Easter. We left at like 8:30 in the morning from Disney, and we watched our first movie for the ride back to Long Island, which was A Bug's Life. And then we started watching movies. And the state we were in the longest was South Carolina. It took forever to get out of South Carolina. We arrived at like 2:30, and then we didn't leave until like 6 o'clock, until we passed by the south of the border again. Yeah, we were getting out of Florida, and then Georgia, and then South Carolina for like 3.5 hours. And we had dinner at some diner in South Carolina at like 5 in the afternoon. And I actually had breakfast for dinner that night. And then we got to North Carolina at like 6 o'clock, and the sun was going down. And we were making like one of our last rest stops, and we went to Virginia again when we saw a new part.